Good morning. We are coming to you from St. Clair Stadium, where the 1-0 Upper St. Clair Panthers are going to take on the 1-0-1 Bethel Park Blackhawks. My name is Dan Cuddy. My announcing mate today, my buddy Wally Backdine, will be bringing the game to you. Bethel's coached by Coach Doug Fink. He's in his second year, but he's been a fixture at Bethel Park. He's had probably 16 years as an assistant there, and so he's certainly well versed in the kids and knows his team well. And I know Wally has scouted these guys, so what do you see in the opponent today, Wally?
Dan, good to be with you again today. This is another experienced side that we face today. Bethel Park starts 9 seniors and 2 juniors, and they're coming off a big win over Mount Lebanon. You know, one of the interesting things about the series, though, is that Upper St. Clair owns 9 consecutive wins over Bethel Park. Bethel Park's last win in this series was in September of 2015, so we'll see if they can break that streak. All of the games have been close, you know, despite winning 9 consecutive against them. You'd think that there would be some blowouts in there, but there are a lot of overtime games and a lot of 1-0 games, and, you know, we'll see how this game develops.
Well, it's a well-worn rivalry. I mean, these schools are close. Kids play each other all the time, coming up and travel, and they know each other from club teams, so there's some friendships, but certainly some friendly hatred as well, if there can be such a thing.
This is a special game for you too, Dan. Dan was an all-star soccer player at Bethel Park High School before moving on to Pitt back in the day. So I'm sure if you see him or hear him being overly complimentary to the Bethel Park team, that probably has something to do with it.
Only slightly. I've always been a grunt, never an all-star. But. So anyways, as we get started here in the first minute, Bethel knocks it over the end line, so St. Clair's going to have a goal kick. Our senior goalie, Evan Jakovic, is going to take the kick. Yeah, Bethel certainly got everyone's attention by beating Mount Lebanon the other night, so this section is definitely, every game is going to be hard fought. Sabarzo has it in the middle, surveys his options, out wide. Max Fultonier has it, knocks it back to Shineki, out to Soham Shankar. He takes a look at the field. He swings it back to Shineki, swings it back to Evan Jakovac. JJ Cuddy says send it forward, and he does. Now Mr. Carney has it back to JJ. Out wide to Ty Reamer. He dribbles, gets caught. Carney defends, still get through. Out wide for Bethel. Now back, JJ Cuddy takes a look, sends it up, Ben Backdine. Ben Backdine's got some green grass. Sends it forward, almost. Trying to get it to Avalaro Sabarzo on the outside there. Headed down nicely by Max Fultonier. Ben, heavy touch, that's okay. He beat the Bethel player to the ball. Yeah, that's one of those dirty plays right there. I like to call them dirty plays. It's a very clean, good play, but it's a dirty grunt work that saves the Bethel side, the St. Clair side 20 or 30 yards by Ben winning that ball. And Nick Tanner is looking backwards, sends it back to Jakovac, and we regroup.
You know, St. Clair's just feeling things out here, but it looks like they're having a little difficulty trying to figure out where their entry is going to be. You know, they were trying to play it up through the middle, and now they've decided to pull it up over the top, and they've got a deep throw in as a result of that.
And that was a very nice through ball threaded through there by Shankar, the junior defender. And yet just did not, just went out before the flag, so Max Fultonier is going to have a throw in here.
Bethel Park in our series, and you saw this a little bit against Mount Lebanon last week, you know, they tend to pack their formation in pretty deep.
Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
Jack Myers.
Jack Myers again. I tell you what, that kid knows how to find the goal. Meatball takes the corner pass, moves it across the center line, just dribbles through really 4 or 5 kids, and then slots it through. You know, no one really stopped the ball on Bethel Park side there.
He kind of lulled everyone to sleep there. I mean, he dribbled, was looking like he was going to pass, but I think knowing him, he was going to shoot every minute, every second he had it.
Well, we obviously know him better than they do, but I mean, that was something where the defense really needed to step up.
And owing to his nickname, I mean, we've got a bright sunny day here, but I think we could say with 4 minutes into the half, it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs, eh?
Absolutely.
That was a great goal. And just like the other night, St. Clair opens up with a very early goal. And see if they can kind of hang on to it without giving any ground back here. They beat Baldwin the other night 4-3, but it was all Baldwin for a good bit of the game. Now into the center for Ben Bakdine. He's going to swing it wide to Ty Reamer, who's holding his line nicely out there. Oh, a little far on the dribble, but he regains possession. Back to Cuddy. He takes a look, sends it long to Nick Tanner. Nick Tanner, and Jack Myers rather. Nick Tanner cuts inside of Jack, and Jack defended well by Bethel. Goes back over the end line, so it'll be a corner for St. Clair. St. Clair's got one guy deep, Nick Tanner on the keeper. Everyone else is hovering around. Ben Bakdine goes and gets it at the back of the 18. We've got a throw, and we've still got possession down here. Out to Cyrus Carney, sends it over a little far to Abelardo, who does catch it and keeps it in. Nope. Corrected. Bethel throw. Cyrus Carney sends it across to Ben Bakdine, up to Jack Myers, who flicks it forward to Nick Tanner. Oh, he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar there, offsides.
That was a close call. You know, he was waiting for the pass. It looked like the center back moved up, and just a really unfortunate set of events there.
You're going to notice all season that Nick Tanner and Jack Myers have an innate ability to know where the other is. They flick the ball forward constantly to each other. It's just amazing how they know where each other is all the time.
Well, you know, they've played soccer together for a long period of time. You know, it's interesting. They both have very different styles. You know, Jack is very much of a shifty. Ball never really leaves, you know, more than a foot or two outside of his radius. You know, but Nick is just pure hustle and speed. You know, he is going to drive right through you, and I think, you know, it makes it hard to defend because you have to pay attention as a defender to who you've got in front of you because the style that you're going to get is very different.
And Nick really drives defenses crazy with his aggression, and I think they underestimate his speed for whatever reason. But
well, he's not called White Lightning for nothing, Jack. You know,
this is true.
Dad.
Now St. Clair has it again, knocked out by the Bethel keeper.
Yeah, Upper St. Clair has their hands full this today with this goalkeeper for Bethel Park. It's a senior, Michael Frankus. He's played on the Riverhounds 03 team for years, and you know he's not going to give you any easy goals for sure. He'll always have a good angle on a shot.
Ball gets headed past Ty Reamer. J.J. Cuddy controls it on the ground. Knocks it forward to Jack Myers, who has a great touch over to Nick Tanner.
All right, so this is an important sequence here in the game, little stretch where, you know, St. Clair has to go back to what it was doing at the beginning where they were finding short passes to connect. You know, they've got a little bit of a lead. You know, you got to stay to your game and stick with your game plan.
As we saw against Baldwin, when they control the ball on the ground, they really can control the game with their with their knowledge of each other, and they move well to each other because they know how to anticipate what their teammates are going to do. When they get into the long ball, more like type of whippy-old soccer, that's going to play right into Bethel's hands today when they get into that rut.
Yeah, if you look at the kids on the field, you know, 8 of the 10 field players at some point in their careers have played a central midfielder position. And so, you know, as you know, I mean, at that position, you've got to be able to see the field and control the ball. And it shouldn't surprise you we're able to connect a bunch of passes whenever that happens because they've got a lot of experience doing that. You know, look at that. 4 quick touches right there. Now you've got a ball in.
And Nick Tanner almost snuck up on the defender's back, and that's another play right there that saved about 40 yards for St. Clair because the defender had to knock it out of bounds instead of knocking it back to his keeper, who would have launched it to midfield.
And that really put the goalkeeper in a really difficult spot, sort of one of those odd balls that doesn't have quite enough weight to get to the goal, but, it's dangerous enough because Nick is putting pressure on the backside there.
And now, as a result, St. Clair's got a virtual corner, a free kick on the outside. Sent in by nice effort by Mr. Fultonier. Two St. Clair players fanned, but not for lack of effort.
Yeah, Nick and Abelardo just couldn't get a foot on it, but they were right there.
And St. Clair has a corner again. And we got a substitution for Bethel Park. And into the game comes number 10, who is Matt Scott. He is a senior. Oh, and Nick Tanner.
Nick Tanner was there harassing the goalkeeper. It looked like he got his head up and almost in between the goalkeeper's hands and had another goal for St. Clair here early on.
I tell you what, Nick Tanner is like his own little swarm of bees. He just tortures these defenders. I'm not so sure that was a high kick there. I think the official was behind the play. I think, Abelardo Sabarzo fouled him, probably with a shoulder, but regardless, Bethel's got a kick.
Well, Abelardo's not that tall, so it couldn't have been that high of a kick.
Oh, Ethan Donovan stuffed by Abelardo Sabarzo. Great play by Abelardo. And Max Fultonier tossed it back to Soham Shankar, up to Mr. Connie. Out swings it wide to J.J. Cuddy. He takes a look, sends it long to Nick
we've got
Tanner
two
and
guys
Max
down
Fultonier.
there. Let's see how they sort this out. And Coach Snyder's just yelling across to Mr. Cuddy to take a couple more yards of grass there before he sends it long. But Nick Tanner looked back at Max Fultonier and Nick knew he couldn't get the ball, so he nodded to Max, but couldn't come up with it. And defended well again by Nick Tanner. Now Ethan Donovan's going to toss it in. Keelan Donovan has it now. Up to a Bethel teammate. Sends it in. And There
Evan
you go.
Jakovic gets his mitts on it for the first
Pretty
time.
easily collected. And they're transitioning quickly today.
Yeah, Ty Reamer took a lot of
Here comes
grass
Nick.
there. There are times as a soccer player you want to take the yardage in front of you. There are other times when the ball is going to move faster than you. The ball always moves faster than you, so quick passing is a key. But if you've got that yardage while you're surveying the area, you can take the grass.
That's a good point. Sometimes kids, they focus on, they panic a little bit with people coming on them, and they don't realize that, just with a couple of touches, they can gain a little bit better advantage and maybe even have a better pass and few better options for you.
And Tanner slipped back into the midfield there to grab a ball for, he tried to turn around to bend back down. J.J. Cuddy stops an advance from Bethel. And Abelardo Sabarzo tells his teammate Cyrus, "Get out of my way, I got this one." Back to Evan Jakovac. So we're at 27 minutes left in the first half, and Bethel has not threatened much at all yet. St. Clair is controlling the pace. Now has a free kick at midfield, which Ben Backdine will take. Sends it forward to Cyrus Connie, which is a good play because Bethel had sucked back all into the toward the 18-yard box.
Yeah, and you start to see here where Bethel really just packs it in. They've got, at this point, 9 kids underneath the 20-yard line, and they've just got a lone single striker.
And that'll be a direct kick right outside the 18-yard box.
That would have been something, if we had another PK there.
Oh, my.
To have 2 last week and then 1 called against us. They've got 2 guys lined up for this. Either Ben Backdine or Abelardo Sabarzo is going to take it. Let's see if they run a dummy. And they
Sabarzo
do.
takes it. Bethel wall blocks it,
Oh.
but Ben gets a second one, sends it in, blocked again
All
by
right.
Bethel. Now
Kept
St.
it
Clair's
in.
a throw-in. Ty Reamer sends it forward to Ben Bakdine, who flicks it past the defender. And out from Bethel, so St. Clair's got another throw-in.
You know, St. Clair has faced the same strategy from Bethel Park for the last couple of years, where Bethel just sort of sits back and parks the bus and, just gets so congested down there in that last 20, 18 yards that they really need to pay attention to moving behind their pass and taking these little lateral and diagonal runs and try to find gaps in that defense. Otherwise, there's just not a lot of space to operate and dribble.
And the key is, too, even though we're up 1-0, we got to play like it's
It's
even.
a dangerous ball again.
Yeah. Because, when someone packs in, you kind of get lulled to sleep in the back sometimes, and you can get a counter, a breakaway. So we want to defend against that. We had a bouncing ball at midfield, fielded by Ty Reamer, back to Shineki.
Nice clear by Liam.
Yep. Shineki said, "Get that stuff out of here." Defended well by Cuddy. Forward to Jack Myers, flicks it over to Tanner, who gets knocked in the head, and ball goes forward for Bethel. Keelan Donovan knocks it ahead, intercepted by Ty Reamer. Back to Jakovac.
Yeah.
Smooth play. Evan picks out Max Fultonier. Sabarzo now defends. Keeps it. Oh, almost. Unlucky there.
That could have been a foul, really, on the Bethel Park defender. He kind of shoved Abelardo out, and that's what caused the ball to go out of bounds. Just a little unlucky there.
In a sense, yeah. We had the advantage, but he did shove him about 5 good yards.
And so here's an example. Take the space and then move it out. Ball's got to be a little bit higher.
And Bethel defender tried to tick it by sophomore Ty Reamer, but he wisely held his ground and defended well. Bethel's got a throw in, defended again by Ty Reamer. JJ got caught with his hand in the cookie jar there. It's okay to push a little bit on the soccer field. You just got to do it lower where the officials can't see you.
Yeah, when you kind of extend your arms like that, it's kind of an easy call for the refs to make.
So Bethel now has a direct kick from about 30 yards outside. St. Clair holds at 18, knocked away smoothly by Shankar.
That's going to go out of bounds.
Soham Shankar is, I would say, in a sense, a different player this year. He played very, very well last year, but you could tell at times he felt in his head like a sophomore maybe, and that's maybe a guess on my part. But this year, he's just the smooth, athletic player he can be throughout. I mean, he just defends well, and he's smooth. He doesn't get rattled back there.
Right. He is one of just the better pure athletes on the team.
He just moves well.
I agree.
Long throw, knocked out by Shineki. Hit in by Ethan Donovan. That was a good rip. Curved wide. We've been watching Ethan Donovan frustrate the St. Clair coaches and kids since he was about 8 years old. He's always been a good player. Knocked back to Jakovac by Ben Bakdine. Evan switches. A little to the inside, though. Intercepted by Ethan Donovan, who knocks it way forward. And that call there, the official called him. The forward came from an offside position back to get the ball. That's just as good as being offsides in the soccer world. So Tyler Chorba, excuse me.
Go ahead.
No, Tyler Chorba is the lone striker up there for Bethel. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 system, and he's I would say, their main offensive threat.
Yeah, and you can really start to see Bethel Park sit back now.
Connie sends it back to J.J. Cuddy.
All right. We just had our first sub of the day
Dribbles past
for
Chorba.
St. Clair, William Bakdine in for Abelardo Sabarzo. And it looks like Jack Cassidy and David Goldberg are set to come in as well. And this is what I think you're going to start to see a lot of in this game, where the field gets compacted down in the offensive end for St. Clair, and then whenever the ball is stolen, it's cleared, and you really only have one guy to release to for the Bethel Park side. And then it's really sort of this process of working the ball back up into the offensive zone.
Right.
And St. Clair just has to be patient working the ball up and can't get frustrated and play the ball over the top. If they can get it settled into that last third of the field, they've got enough talent there that they should be able to control the ball and then get some quality shots off.
And I know fans occasionally get frustrated by a number of back passes or a habitual way of, back passing to possess. But in this sense, I mean, Bethel's got one kid defending, 3 to 4 players on the defensive end, and you can count Evan Jakovac in that group because he used to be a field player, so he's very good with his feet. And if we're possessing it, well, they're not.
Pretty hard to score if you don't have the ball.
This is true.
Can happen, but. All right, in comes David Goldberg and Jack Cassidy. Nick Tanner and Ty Reamer coming off. We're almost halfway through the first half now. It's still 1-0 USC over Bethel Park.
And Jack Cassidy's a young man who, in his senior year, this is his first real quality varsity minutes, but he played great the other night against Baldwin, caused a number of threatening situations up front, and he will run his tail off until you pull him back off the field.
Oh.
And that ball unluckily gets over J.J. Cuddy's head, but he was at least in front of the offensive player, and he went up, and that's half the battle sometimes. Even if you don't get the ball, just too little room for the forward to react at that point.
It's very distracting. I mean, you've got the ball that you're trying to connect with your head, and then somebody flashing across your field of vision.
And David Goldberg knocked that down with his head. Now we've got Jack Myers, who very wisely slips it across the field to Soham Shankar. And the other night, Wally, David Goldberg played some real quality minutes for the St. Clair side. And as a sophomore, I mean, he looked like a veteran, I would say.
Yeah, he really held up well.
Now Will Backdine.
He draws a corner over there.
Very good play by Will. Will is a very aggressive, very athletic player. He's also very thin. He finds himself on the floor at times, but you can't hurt the kid. He'll go in, he'll stick his nose in there. He doesn't care what happens to him as long as we get the ball.
Looks like we're going to try a little in-swinger corner here with Ben Backdine hitting it. And J.J. Cuddy just misses wide. What a great delivery and what a nice shot. This is something that St. Clair really had to work on in the offseason, is get better on their corner pieces. And, we scored one, obviously, the winning goal against Baldwin that way. But, just early on, it looks like we're doing a much better job of connecting and at least getting some sort of threat off whenever we have these corners.
No doubt. And here comes Jack Cassidy.
Jack Cassidy sort of runs right by him. There you go.
Oh, unlucky.
Just loses control of the ball at the end. Oh, but they give it to St. Clair.
That's a bad call, but
that's true.
We'll take it.
That's another corner.
No, I think somebody was on the floor there and knocked off his foot. Max Fultonier lets it right out of bounds. We're subbing now. Nick Tanner comes back in for Jack Myers. And Abelardo Sabarzo comes in for Cyrus Connie. And Ty Reamer's back on the field now on the left side for Max Fultonier.
So it doesn't look like Coach Snyder is going with a very deep bench, at least in the first half. There's number 4 is, really working hard to sort of shield and get his shoulder in front of the Upper St. Clair player's shoulder. Nick was just a little bit too fast for him there.
And again, we keep the ball on our offensive end.
Somebody needs to show to Ty, and that's going to be a high kick on Nick.
Yeah, St. Clair players just needed to keep their feet moving there. Everyone just kind of stayed and waited for a pass, and
Right.
Nick tried to flick it back over his head, but he gets called for a high kick.
Yeah, Ty didn't really have many options there. I mean, you had a couple guys who had posted up their defenders, but nobody really showing and creating space.
And William Backdine won a ball there, and this is again the stuff that we talk about, the gritty plays. He went in and won that ball, and the 50-50 balls are so important in soccer because had he not won that ball, that was going to be an offensive threat for Bethel. It goes out for us. Now we're all the way forward again for Nick Tanner.
I think that looked worse than what it really was. I don't know if that was quite a foul on Nick.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, soccer is both a simple game but an intricate one in that it's a long field, but if you win the balls, you win the 50-50 balls, even if you don't maintain possession of the ball at that point, you save your team so much yardage. Ball
Let's see if Evan comes out and gets that ball. He should have picked that up.
Yeah, he could have.
In a situation like that, I'd much rather see him get on the ground and slide and pick up the ball.
That was a great play by Soham Shankar. Bethel had an offensive player open on the backside, and Shankar got back, knocked it out with his head.
We have not been very good at that over the years.
Yep. And Nick Tanner came all the way back from his forward position to defend on that play. Excuse me, I think he's playing an outside midfielder spot. No, excuse me.
I think he's up. He'd come in to defend. That's something that they saw on tape, I'm sure, at Bethel Park on these really corners deep into the zone. They like to throw the ball into the box, which basically is a corner, maybe even more effective than a corner, just given the accuracy you'd have with a throw versus the corner kick.
J.J. Cuddy throws into Nick Tanner. He's defended well, but Ty Reamer wins the ball.
Ty Reamer got that ball.
Again with the 50-50 balls. Up to Nick Tanner, who's onside. Forward to William Backdine, back out to Tanner.
Good bounce. Let's see if he can get it across. Oh, no one there.
Unlucky. J.J. Cuddy calmly collects it and gets defended.
Let's see if
Liam says, not here.
All right, we just need to control the ball at this moment.
Back up to Goldberg.
And he's got it down to Ben Backdine.
Ben's going to get this ball and cross it.
He's coming across. Is he going to get a shot?
A left-footed shot is blocked by Bethel. Got a gap in our midfield here. Bethel knocks it back out wide. Forward to a diagonally running player. So, well defended by Shankar. Into William Backdine. Turns around, gives it to his brother. Ben looked at David Goldberg, but was covered, so he sends it up to Nick Tanner.
Let's settle it back and control it. There you go.
The other thing the back passes do, especially from that distance when they're open, is it pulls defenders forward. It pulls the midfield forward and gave that lane for Nick Tanner.
Let's see if somebody can get on the end of that. Nope.
Out wide now for Bethel. Defended well by David Goldberg.
Yeah. That was a nice cross by Nick Tanner. The timing just wasn't right. That we had just won the ball in the midfield and we had only a couple guys forward. That second level of attackers really didn't have time to catch up to the ball.
Keelan Donovan comes in for Bethel as a lone forward. Also made 2 other substitutions in the midfield.
12 and a half minutes left here in the first half. Still 1-0 Upper St. Clair over Bethel Park.
Settled down by Ben Backdine, knocked forward toward his brother. He collects it though. Takes a hard shot, but we still win the ball. Have a throw in. David Goldberg knocks it throws it in. Nick Tanner ticks it back to Ben. And Keelan Donovan comes back into his midfield to get it. Pass it back to his brother Ethan. He's defended by Jack Cassidy. Now
nice
Ethan has it again.
1-2 by Bethel Park.
It's a good sequence by Bethel.
Yep. And they're going to swing it all the way to the other side of the field.
David Goldberg steps forward. And Shanecki says, get that stuff out of here.
Here comes, look at Jack Cassidy putting great pressure on Michael Conroy.
Ethan Donovan sends it forward. Someone open on
Keeper's
the
gotta
backside
connect
who tries to head it forward, but Jakovic makes a great athletic play and knocks it forward.
That was a dangerous situation. He handled it really well. Good play by Evan.
Yep, 2 players on the backside were open. JJ had the first one. He closed in on the first one. Now he's closing on the Bethel midfielder who moved forward. Knocked out by Jakovic. And this happens with the 4-2-3-1 system. Now they turn into like a 4-3-3 when they're on offense. A couple midfielders flew forward there. And
that's a nice ball. Nick Tanner going. You got Jack Cassidy coming through. Pretty good transition there.
Really good. We transitioned the ball well and definitely doing so today. Connie's coming in to give Ben back Diane a water break. Max Fultner is coming in for David Goldberg, and Jack Cassidy gives way to. You see
David
who came
Goldberg.
back in? David Goldberg.
Yep.
Oh, David Goldberg's coming off. That was a great play by Cyrus Connie. Slid at the ball, knocked it back to JJ. Bethel throw, though. Collected by, we're still trying to collect it. Bethel's got it.
That's a nice collection by Cyrus Connie.
That was good ball work there. Oh, Abelardo thought about switching it. Sends it forward
finds Will back dying.
Gets
the ball
almost gets through. Wow.
Oh, look at Jack Myers. Got a shot. Oh, just lies wide, but we're going to get a corner out of that.
Should be a corner, yep.
Really nice through ball by Will Backdye, and Ty Reamer collected it, and then just a couple of odd bounces, and once again, Jack Myers is not afraid to shoot.
I think William head faked the defender there. I mean, he looked like he was going to pass it wide to an open player and then just send it forward, and Ty Reamer read him very well and tried to slip between the 2 defenders. Had an outswinger there by Abelardo Sabarzo, who's also the kicker on the football team. Didn't have much to do last night, though.
That was a rough one for him.
St. Clair got their butts kicked by Pine Richland. Sent forward by Bethel. Collected well by Max Fultner. Cyrus Connie takes a look, turns around, sends it back out to Shankar.
See, that's great patience Cyrus had. You know, he didn't really have anything available to him, but he didn't have any pressure on him either. So he dribbled around, changed directions a couple of times, and he was able to go find a nice pass. And so instead of just taking a first look and then kicking the ball down the field, he was patient and he waited for something to open up.
Even though it was a long pass, it was a safe one, and Bethel countered a bit. Ty Reamer knocks out, so Bethel's going to have a throw in. Ethan Donovan's going to try the long throw again. Bethel's got it. Well defended by Connie. Decent play by Wilback Dime, but it was intercepted and shot wide by Jakovic.
Not quite sure what Coach Schneider is upset about, but thought they defended that pretty well.
Yeah, no, they did. Just got picked off. He just wants them to keep their intensity up. Push in the back, let's St. Clair have a direct kick at midfield. Connie's going to take it. Sends it short to Cuddy on the outside. The field shifts. He sends it wide to caught off sides. I don't know about that.
That's a shame.
Ty Reamer probably just left a split second too early.
Well, you can see, when St. Clair controls that ball around midfield, and Bethel drops 6-7 guys back into that back line, and they just make it very difficult to get the ball through.
And that can be a difficult call for an official, but I'm not so sure he was offsides there. I mean, for the soccer crowd out there, obviously you're watching the game, so you are a soccer crowd, but offsides is effectuated when the ball is kicked. So if Ty Reamer was even when the ball was kicked, he was still onside. The fact that he gets there first after the ball's in the air doesn't matter.
Yeah, you really have to listen for the thud.
Right.
You know, you have to have your eyes up and then your ears open.
Yeah, if you're the official, you have to be on the last defender and listen for the thud of the ball.
That should be wide. Evans got to go get that, and he does.
He's able to keep his feet inside the box.
Yeah.
Sends it. That was kind of a mishead by Bethel. Knocked it backwards. St. Clair's got to throw in now.
St. Clair transitioning quickly.
Ben's a very aware player, and he wanted everyone forward immediately. So we got 5.5 minutes left in the half. St. Clair's still up 1-0. Controlling the action for the most part. J.J. Cuddy takes a look behind him. Now he's got a defender in front of him. Sends it forward. He tries to cross it on the ground to Ty Reamer. A little ambitious. Cyrus Connie picks it up. Tosses it out to Cuddy again. Sends it forward on the ground to Nick Tanner, who back passes
nice
it to.
flick.
Flicks it behind his back rather.
That's a really high, hopeful ball. See if he can bring it down.
Sabarzo went up twice for it. Connie back again. Calm Connie. There he is.
There he goes.
Whoops. That could turn out to be.
Actually, Jackson going to come and get that ball.
Yeah. Oh, great move.
And he dices him.
My goodness
What
gracious.
a shot and what a move.
Ethan Donovan's going to have to pick up some equipment on the turf there. That was a great move by Jack Myers.
That was a nice chop and cut. You know, I don't know about the shot, but that was a great move in the corner there by Jack Myers. And that's the thing that I was talking about earlier is that the ball is always right at his feet.
Yeah.
And he's a short player, so as a defender who tend to be pretty tall, it's hard to defend because you've got nothing to lean up against.
Yeah. And Ethan Donovan will just crush it. He doesn't care. But he couldn't touch Jack there. Ben's got it in the middle now. Forward to Myers. Ty Reamer collects. Dribbles into a defender. Out to Ethan Donovan. Stalls it nicely, then tries to hit it forward, but Connie's there to defend. Ty
Reamer controls it. There it goes.
Yep. Bethel's got it outside in their defensive end. Up to midfield. Defended hard by Abelard Sabarzo. Up to Ben Backdine. St. Clair throw.
Looks like that right back over there on Bethel Park side has done a pretty good job. We've had a lot of corners, but we seem to be getting caught up and stuck against that sideline. So maybe that side has a little bit better speed than what we've got over here on the left side.
You're right. Yeah, I would say Mr. Donovan's more of a thumper and less of a speedster.
We've got 3 minutes left in the half. It'd be nice if we could grab another one right before the intermission.
Abelardo Sabarzo almost got caught for a penalty there. He pushed Bethel player twice in the back. At any rate, Liam's got it. Heads it forward.
Let's bring it
down. Connie brings it down. I'm not sure anyone told him that he had a defender on his back there. Good communication there by the St. Clair defense. Ben Backdine's got it now. Jack Myers surveys the area. Turns around again. Oh, he sees Ty Reamer on the outside, but heavy touch gets away.
I thought he got held a little bit on that play.
Yeah, got held. Back to J.J. Cuddy.
All right, 2.5 minutes.
Nice 30-yard pass on the ground to Ben Backdine. He and Abelardo Sabarzo go in. Cuddy knocks it forward to Tanner. Soham Shankar's got a Donovan on his back. It's not going to go out of bounds. Well, there you go. Now we've got a direct kick instead of a throw. Maybe a little frustration on the Bethel side.
Yeah, a little bit unnecessary.
Great ball to Jack Myers. Controlled nicely amongst three defenders. Back to Connie, who's got some room. Oh.
Might be a little bit too deep.
Yeah. Kind of a bad punt there by the Bethel keeper, but Bethel collects. Ethan Donovan calmly knocks it forward. Sabarzo.
Really nice shield. You know, the way that he stuck his body there in front of the defender before the ball came through.
No question. Just a little over a minute left now. Jakovic and Coach Snyder is rightly telling the players to have some soccer IQ and get that ball out. Ty Reamer's got it forward.
Ball's got to go through.
Oh, unlucky. Under
1
a minute
left.
Yep. Max Fultner overran the ball there, but Bethel player got caught doing something that we couldn't see here. Either way, Cuddy's going to take his time wisely.
Yeah. St. Clair's committing two of their taller kids, their backs up all the way up into the box. So let's see if we can get one up here. Somebody's got to find the ball on this service. That's a little low.
Yep.
Oh, and it still
unlucky.
gets through. And that should do it for the half. Just about 15 seconds left.
You're going to hear the horn in a second here. That's it. So St. Clair controlled that half, I would say, but certainly would like to get some more on the board, so we'll see what they can do in the second half. And we are back, so now I can say good afternoon. Again, Bethel is down 1-0. Just want to say a quick word about two families involved in this game. You know, soccer players and obviously athletes everywhere go through a lot more than they just do on the field. And so in our stands today we have Victor Hayes, who's the father of Anthony Hayes, a sophomore player for us.
Junior.
And, junior player. Victor unfortunately went through a hemorrhagic stroke 6 months ago, and he is, you know, in a wheelchair, but he is at the game with his wife, and we're going to probably see his son Anthony Hayes play here in the second half. Every time he's played very well. Scored 2 goals in the first scrimmage when his dad was first at the game. And secondly, I'd like to say something about two twins on the Bethel side, Jacob and Joshua Narr. Their father, William, nicknamed Bookie Narr, was one of my best friends and passed away a month ago. And we certainly hope to see them on the field. And just want to say, Book, I know you're watching, and we miss you, buddy. Ball is kicked off. Forward to Jack Myers, knocked down by Bethel.
And it looks like Anthony Hayes, Victor's son, is now in the game for Abelardo Sabarzo to start the second half.
And there we go.
You know, this is the second half is going to start out. Looks like it's starting out with the same pattern that we've seen a lot of in the first half, which is where, you know, Bethel sits down in their half of the field, defensive half of the field, and really,
that's some
really
great passing. Wall pass out to Ty Reamer.
try to defend with numbers. And, you know, look right now, they've got 9 kids in the box.
Yep. Unlucky. Ty just tried to slip it around the defender there and then slip himself around, but didn't have enough room on the field.
But, you know, we were talking at the half, Dan, as, you know, some of the strategies that St. Clair could employ against this kind of tactic that they use. But, you know, it's still tough when you got to defend the whole field. And, you know, but I do think that we have some speed advantage in our back line. It could probably move up both JJ and Soham a little bit more and pinch them in so that these transitions that Bethel Park tries to score on, you know, don't develop.
Yep, and there's you know, our holding midfielders, Ben Bakdine and Cyrus Connie, have been able to slip forward at times, one each. You don't want them both forward, but there's usually been a big gap as Bethel tries to get 8-9 players behind the ball and just leave one guy up to counter. there's a lot of area for us to use in the midfield. Now Ty Reamer brings it forward, sends it forward to Jack Myers.
Oh, just a little step too far for Jack Myers. But I like it so far.
Knocked down by Keelan Donovan. Cyrus Carney now collects out to Ben back nine, out to J.J. Cuddy, who Ty Reamer comes back to get it. Back to Cuddy.
Not sure who that pass was to from Ben. It's kind of to both Reamer and J.J. without a real name on it.
It was like a multiple choice pass, A or B. And Soham.
See, that's what Soham's doing, exactly what Coach Snyder asked him to do in the first half, which was take a couple more dribbles into the space and find a different player.
Nick Tanner comes back to get the ball out to Ty Reamer. Whoops, little miss kick. Unlucky.
You know, but one thing that you have not seen Bethel Park do in the first half and so far in the second half is, you know, control the ball in their forward half and then, you know, work different entry points into that last third. You know, most of their attacks have been focused on getting the ball downfield, and anything that they've really gotten on goal or threatened the goal with has come off of a set piece or a throw-in of some sort. Yeah, not in the run of play.
They haven't been able to penetrate on St. Clair, you know, level to level, as we would say, but you know, everything's kind of the long pass or the counter. And conversely, St. Clair is able to go level to level or play it long. So we really should continue to control this game. J.J. Cuddy sends one on the ground to Ben. Little tough ball. Cyrus recollects up to Max Fultonier. Cuts inside. I'm not sure about that call. We had the advantage there.
You know, he did pull him, but, you know, he had the advantage. You at least give him a couple of steps to see if something materializes. And I don't even know from Bethel Park's standpoint if they would want the foul called there.
Yeah, really. This is a more dangerous situation in a sense. Soham sends a ball in.
Oh, nice header.
Nodded down.
And that was Anthony Hayes.
Anthony Hayes.
I think it might have gone wide, but really, really great to get a head on that ball.
Yep, almost got to point up at his dad. Oh, that was well defended by Ben. Bethel doesn't get it. Bounces forward to Shineki. Carney shields now. Takes an elbow to the back. Out to Ben. Back to Cuddy. Cuddy surveys. Sends it long to Jack Myers, who gets behind the defender. Heads it forward to Anthony Hayes. Anthony battles, and forces it outside, or forces Bethel to knock it outside.
You know, and for Bethel Park there, that's another one of these like panic clears that we keep talking about, where, you know, you're fighting for the ball, trying to maintain possession, and you just sort of give up and you kick the ball out of bounds.
Right. And Ben back nine takes a shot to the back, passes it back, gets it back, takes a couple more clips to the heel, says, I don't care, and knocks it forward to Ty Reamer.
But you see already, once they get the ball down into this last third, St. Clair, you know, there's just not a lot of space to operate. You know, so you've got to create space by taking motion and moving the ball across the field.
J.J. Cuddy comes up from his defensive spot, calls for the ball, knocks it over to Carney. He thumps it through, defends again. Coach Snyder is asking someone to drop for him.
And here's it goes. So the ball goes up, Bethel Park pushes out, and we reset, and we play again. I got to
say, though, Bethel really had bad anticipation there. I mean, their midfield was jogging forward. Their two offensive threats had a chance to create something, but they had no support. J.J. Cuddy comes over from the right side, knocks it down, but now we're out of position. Ty Reamer collects the guy on the backside, and Evan Jakovec's able
easily collected by the goalkeeper.
Evan comes off his line really well.
Oh, that's going to get through. Oh, that's a foul.
No, that's a foul. And that's an Ethan Donovan foul right there. That's the best thing I can say. Unnecessary would be another word. But in order to St. Clair's benefit, Ben back nine sets it down, lets everyone get forward. J.J. Cuddy slips forward, had a nice header in the first half that almost went in. Let's see what they do.
Soft ball in. Doesn't quite get over the line. Cyrus Connie is going to be able to collect this.
Very calmly indeed as well. Very nice touch. Back to Shineki.
Right.
Out wide to
St.
Ty
Clair
Reamer.
needs to get their shape back. Get back into position.
St. Clair's got to keep their intensity up. The feet are not moving as quickly or as early as they should right now. And at 32 and almost 32 and a half minutes left in the half, it's still 1-0 St. Clair. Shineki defends very nicely out to J.J. Cuddy, who draws a throw in. Reamer heads it forward.
Bring it down.
Toward Myers and Tanner. Connie now has it. J.J. Cuddy has it. Slow defense. Oops. Turnover.
Just an errant pass. Let's see if we can collect it again. That ball's going to go out of bounds.
No big deal. No harm done. Ty Reamer throws it to J.J. Cuddy. He looks again. Two defenders approach slowly. Knocks it forward in the air to Nick Tanner. Nodded down by Bethel. Out to Soham Shankar. Anthony Hayes couldn't collect it. Bethel's got it for a second. Gets through Connie.
Couple of missed tackles there by Ben and then Cyrus, and they've been able to move the ball up.
Max Fultner
comes
back
and
nicely.
Collect the ball.
Ben back down, sends it down to Shankar. Knocks it up the line to Nick Tanner, but collected by the ball boy. Bethel subs their forward, so looks like Matt Scott and Miles Jackson come in. Calvin Walsh comes off, as does Ethan Nerone.
I was just watching the Bethel Park kids come off the field, and they look exhausted. And it does remind you that when you're playing this defensive kind of game where you're sitting back and you're chasing all the time, it is very exhausting. And it's something that you would expect to see show up here in the second half, as your legs get tired and you don't move as well. And so I think it's important for St. Clair to keep moving their feet, particularly as we get deeper into the half.
And again, it certainly plays to their benefit if we're 3-touch and balls passed on the ground as opposed to in the air. We didn't get caught for one there. Max Fultner trips. Ethan Donovan. So Bethel has a free kick at midfield. Donovan sends it in. Headed out of bounds by Connie. Very good play. Bethel throw in. Headed away by Ben Backdine, who gets upended. Pushed out by St. Clair. Bethel collects back out to Ethan Donovan, who really would rather be a midfielder, and he is defended very well by Max Fultner, but somehow gets the ball across. I think
the ball had to go. I don't see how that ball didn't go out of bounds.
I thought the ball hit the football upright, which would make it out of bounds. I thought it just glanced it, but
yeah, certainly from the angle that he was going and the speed that he was carrying, it's hard to see how that ball came back without going over the end line at some point.
Even if it went out and curved back in, it's still out.
Right, it's still out. All right. All right, they give it away.
That's one of those things, too. The WPIAL refereeing system with the 3 officials situated as they are on the field, as opposed to the regular system with 2 linesmen. One linesman would have been probably on the ball, or at least on the last defender, close to the end line there. He would have been able to see that ball swing out. But the depth perception
Nice clear by Max Fulton there. Ethan Donovan was coming hard behind him, and if he doesn't get a foot on that ball, Ethan might have had a shot.
Yeah, I'm yakking away, and Bethel had a scoring chance. Jack Myers collects, sends it forward to Ben Backdine.
And Michael Conroy clears the ball out. But, that sequence there, that's pretty much what Bethel Park, I think, has decided they're going to do this game. They're going to defend deep in their own half, and then they're going to try to, whenever they get a breakout, they're going to try to get the ball down and into track with 2 or 3 plays. And if Upper St. Clair commits a foul, that's really where any scoring chances have come from them. The only chances.
Right. So 27 and a half left in the half. St. Clair still 1-0. Bethel's got the throw in it close to midfield. Now St. Clair's got a throw in. About to enter their offensive third.
Looks like William Backdine is in some sort of concussion protocol. I didn't really see what happened in the first half, but he's down with the trainers and he's got sunglasses on, and they're keeping him away from the field.
That is certainly unfortunate.
Dan, I would say for those that are watching this game, if just from the first 55 minutes of this game, this is very representative of the kinds of games that Upper St. Clair and Bethel Park have played in the last 4 or 5 years.
No doubt. At least for now, it's been a cleaner game than we're used to seeing between these two sides, but
more along the lines of sort of the way that Bethel Park approaches the game, along with the score. It's just goals have been very hard to come by in this series.
I agree. Thrown in, defended well by J.J. Cuddy. Cyrus Connie had someone on his back. Ben Backdine defends.
And there's a good ball right behind our defender. Let's see if they can get a hold of it.
Oh,
Max shields him very nicely.
That's for sure.
Here we go. Is he going to go home with it? Here he comes.
Ethan Donovan sends it sends it forward, headed down by Liam Shinecki. Defended well by Soham Shankar and knocked out again by Liam Shinecki. Bethel throwing. Shankar sends it forward. Headed down kind of awkwardly by a Bethel player.
We've settled a little bit into this, packed in, where we've got 1 or 2 guys that are up forward and we're trying to attack with a hopeful ball.
Yep. One thing I'm noticing, too, I wonder if St. Clair is going to take advantage of, is there seems to be some space and some passing alleys out wide for our widest midfield player. If we can send it wide, there's going to be certainly scoring opportunities from both sides.
Oh, what a header.
That was a great play by Ben Backdine.
And really good play by Jack Myers to get a ball across.
Knocked down by Connie to Ben Backdine. Collected by Sabarzo. Sent to Jack Myers.
Oh, he tries to slide it through to Nick Tanner.
Tried to slide it through the defender's legs. And Max Fulton sends it forward for Jack Myers. Collected by the keeper.
Couple of nice little threats there.
Defended well by Cuddy. A little bit of a missed kick, but defended well. Sent forward by Max Fulton. Headed down by Sabarzo. To Ben Backdine.
Let's see if Nick Tanner can catch up to this ball.
Ethan Donovan kind of muscles him away, and it's a good defensive play. You certainly notice the change in some of the kids' bodies this year as they really trained hard in the offseason, but Ethan Donovan is probably the thickest player on the team.
Well, he was built that way. He's been that way ever since he was a little kid.
Yep. Sent forward by Max Fultonier, turned nicely by Ben Bakdine, and Ty Reamer slips through one of those holes we were just talking about. Back to Cyrus, up again, he creates some space, pulls the defender toward him. Dribbles across, oh, unfortunate. He saw Nick
Ben's
Tanner on the other side
this.
there. Ben Bakdine still has it.
Oh.
Good effort. And Coach Snyder liked that better too. That was about a 6-7 pass sequence.
Yeah. You wonder, listen, I always, when you get that ball on the end line like that, that is such a dangerous position. And, I'm sure Ben thought about letting that ball go out of bounds and taking the corner kick. But, whenever you get the ball that deep, it's a very, very difficult spot to defend if you're on the other side.
He does it very well, though. He plays that very well offensively, and so does Jack Myers. Now we're forward again with Max Fultonier. Sends it forward with the left foot, but
looks like
draws a corner. So Ben Bakdine's going to take the kick. Coach Snyder calls for J.J. Cuddy to head forward. Shorter ball. Jack Myers collects, sends it forward. Nick Tanner traps and gets it in. Oh, great play.
What
and
a nice goal. Right place at the right time.
Yep. The Bethel keeper got his mitts on it, but it was a bouncing, weird kind of ball, and he couldn't collect it.
I'd have to look at the replay again, but, you wondered if Nick was offsides. The defense had pushed out as soon as that first shot was blocked, but they didn't call it, and Lord knows we had one taken away from us in the Baldwin game. So
true.
I don't know if we're even, but we'll take this one.
No doubt. That was just a great play by Nick, too. I mean, he was on the ground. He basically just got to a knee and got his foot on it. That's the thing about corners. I mean, it's really the second ball a lot of times it's the most threatening. Jakovic throws it out to Ty Reamer. The body language from the Bethel players is not good right now. It's a little resigned, I would say. Now Nick Tanner gets caught offsides. We may have benefited there too by one of the kind of the whippeal refereeing perception plays I was talking about before. Sometimes they're behind the play and they can't see whether someone's offsides. Defended well by Reamer up to Sabarzo. Hard, he couldn't collect it. Intercepted by Max Fultonier. Picked Ethan Donovan's pocket, up to Jack Myers. Tries a shield, but gets defended. Shankar is able to see the field now. Up to Ben Bakdine, who wheels and deals, turns around, up to Max Fultonier. Oh, excuse me, it's Sabarzo. Little tick forward to Fultonier. Ethan Donovan slides into Max Fultonier, but Fultonier family's a rough crowd. The brothers have been wrestlers, and Max said, I'll have none of that. Get some reinforcements coming in here. Jack Cassidy, David Goldberg.
Looks like Baden Friday's getting some of his first varsity action. Same for Anderson Ladares.
Yep.
It's good to see some of the younger kids get in there and get an opportunity to play.
No question. And we're just about under 20 minutes left in the game. St. Clair up 2-0 now. Ball goes back towards midfield.
You see this a lot by Coach Snyder. I know that there are teams out there in the Whippeal that like to run up the score, and sometimes they're doing it with their second and third string. But Coach Snyder has never been one to kind of leave his starters in there for the whole game and run up the score on another team. It's just not something that you see a lot of them. Of that in the history of Upper St. Clair soccer, which is, I think is a good thing. It shows a lot of sportsmanship on his part.
And class. I mean, and he's what would you call him, like the professor emeritus of the coaches? I mean, he's been around since 2002 as the head coach. Easily the senior guy amongst all the coaches in the section.
Now let's be clear. He doesn't empty the bench either and
No.
put in some of your lesser players. He still maintains his strong core, but when he can, he's able to get in some of the younger players. And look, and that helps down the line where kids who see some minutes as sophomores, and then that stays with them. That makes it whenever they're juniors and seniors, it's not the first time they've seen the field against some of these kids who are bigger and stronger.
Right, you got to play. So David Goldberg takes on a defender, knocks it forward to Baden Friday.
Here comes Baden Friday. Oh, and can't get a shot off.
Excuse me, Cassidy knocked forward Baden Friday.
That was a nice shot by Abelardo Sabarzo.
He's able to get his big left foot on it. Wow, that was a very nice kick by the keeper. Liam Schnicke lets it bounce and could have headed it back to Jakovac. That would have been an easy ball to collect, but Liam tries to turn it. Still works out. Jakovac has it.
Liam's had a couple of problems with that where, it's a really high ball and he misses it on the downswing, and then when he's got his back turned on the bounce, he's not quite sure what to do with it. He either has misplayed it with his feet or hasn't gotten quite enough of a head on it. Just something to work on in practice.
Yep. And the other thing, too, is if a defender heads it back, nice head out by J.J. Cuddy up to Jack Cassidy. If a defender heads it back to the keeper or chests it back, the keeper's allowed to use his hands. But if it's foot-to-foot, a foot-to-foot pass, it's got to stay on the ground, and the keeper cannot pick it up if it's a pass back with the foot. So J.J. Cuddy defends up to Jack Cassidy, who one touches it forward to Baden Friday. Baden Friday tries to put defends well. And Bethel has a throw, but it certainly wasn't a long clear.
Yeah, it's funny. Baden has all the same mannerisms of his older brother, Mitch.
Certainly does. Liam Schnicke sends it back, then Shields. Fielded in the midfield by Bethel.
Yeah, the field's
Shankar.
gotten big now. You look, it's spread out. People are playing from longer positions, deeper positions.
Goldberg forward to Cassidy.
St. Clair seems to have found something here on the right side.
Yep.
And there's another shot. Oh,
good job. David Goldberg's not afraid to pull the trigger. He took a nice shot the other night against Baldwin. It's good to see a young man shoot. Knocked down by Shankar. So is a Bethel player, so that'll be a foul. Bethel's going to have a kick at midfield. Knocked down by Cuddy. Oh, that is not a good play. That's an unlucky play. That's going to be a penalty kick. JJ went up. Ball went off the upper part of his arm. And luckily it's just a direct kick right outside the 18-yard box. That's certainly a lucky play for St. Clair.
and with that, you see all the other starters get back off the bench. But still, that's good that you're able to get minutes in there for kids who haven't seen the field at the varsity level just yet.
Ethan Donovan's going to try and nail this.
What a shot.
That's unfortunate. It's a game again.
Yeah.
Just under 15 minutes.
What a shot. Ethan Donovan buries one.
Unlucky play from J.J. Cuddy. He went up for the ball, and it just kind of dipped under where I think he thought it was going to be. Hit the top part of his arm. Even though his arms were down.
He slotted that just right over the wall. I mean, that was a really precise shot. Certainly not something you want to get your head in the way of, but you're right, Dan. It's a game now.
So now we're back to Bethel St. Clair intensity. Should be that way for the next 15 minutes.
Yep, 15 minutes left.
And hopefully only 15. Knocked out by Bethel. We'll have a St. Clair throw at midfield. Reamer throws it over Hayes' head to Nick Tanner. Knocked back up to Tanner by Ben Bakdine. Turned by Jack Myers. Slides, doesn't get it. Shankar chests it down.
That had
loses
potential.
possession. That should have been a head ball. He's run over by
He
Bethel,
ran
but has the
over the
advantage.
guy.
Up
There
to
goes
Sabarzo.
Abelardo. All right. Soam absolutely got trucked.
He did. Could have saved himself the trucking though. It was at head level. He chested it down, tried to control it, but I think didn't anticipate the Bethel defender's speed. Jakovic knocks it forward. Collected at midfield by Bethel. Knocked wide. Kept in bounds by Bethel. Back to a center back. Forward. Sabarzo defends well. Ethan Donovan goes forward. He runs over Sabarzo. Collected by Ben Bakdine. Knocked down again by Sabarzo. Bethel threatens again.
Not getting very
Cleared.
good bounces right now.
No. Cleared by Max Fultonier. St. Clair's on their heels for the moment.
Yeah, St. Clair needs to settle down and go back to what they were doing earlier, which was walking the ball up and making pass to pass, feet to feet.
Back to Bethel's keeper.
Right.
Intercepted by Bakdine. Turned out to Sabarzo.
There
Up
he
to
goes.
Nick Tanner. Tanner.
He's got
Cuts
in behind
inside.
Conroy. Find Jack.
Oh, isn't it Jack Myers?
Oh.
He's caught offsides.
That was a tight call. You could almost see that coming.
Yep. Still 2-1, 12 and a half minutes left. Knocked forward by Shineki. Ben Bakdine slides, can't get it. Shielded well by Ty Reamer. Takes some punishment. St. Clair gets the kick. Reamer loses his shoe. Cuddy says, put your shoe back on.
I think he's going to send this ball deep.
Yep.
Here we go. Let's collect it.
Anthony Hayes shoulders it forward. Collected by Bethel. Ty Reamer defends.
St. Clair, St. Clair.
Ty Reamer's going to throw it in, but wisely takes a few seconds off the clock where he ties his shoe. Or tried. Walks it forward to Myers. Heads it over to Tanner. Tanner turns around, takes some punishment. Again.
And they let him play.
So what happened there, even though the reason we have the ball back here is because Nick Tanner took some punishment from 2 or 3 Bethel players. Since we had the advantage, he let him go as far as the next Bethel foul.
You don't usually see that out of the Whitfield referees, but that was a nice call.
Yep.
Or no call, as it were.
Cuddy launches it. Ball twists. We get ahead. And Ben Bakdine knocks it down. Tries to dribble through. Out to Fultonier. Up to Tanner.
Nick is
Tanner.
through. He's got Jack in front of the goal again. Hayes moving up.
Couple patented Tanner moves.
Yeah, and he just doesn't give up.
Nope.
I bet Ethan Donovan wishes that he would.
And Bethel Park sends it up into the plants above the old concession stand. Connie comes back in now.
Anthony Hayes sits down.
Solid minutes from Anthony Hayes.
Really good work by Anthony Hayes.
Deep throw in by St. Clair. Tanner. Missed trap, unfortunate. Unlucky.
About 10 minutes left still in the game. Upper St. Clair up 2-1.
Joshua Narr is going to come in.
They've got
for
numbers
Bethel.
now.
Forward.
Here comes Reamer.
Reamer. Whoops. Reamer's taken down just outside the box. Ball squirts over the end
There's
line.
a corner.
Calls a corner kick.
There was some debate on that. Bethel Park protesting, thinking that it should be a goal kick.
Ref says, I don't care, it's a corner.
Looks like we're going to get an in-swinger from Abelardo Sabarzo.
Sabarzo.
It's a deep, deep ball.
Knocked down by Ben Bakdyan. Out to Shineki at midfield. Shineki collects, looks. Wheels it over to Connie, who's got defenders on his back.
Here we go.
Over to Cuddy. Cuddy sends it for, intercepted. Unlucky.
He tried to lead Jack Myers with that
That was
pass. I think if he would have just played it to him on a check, it would have been fine.
Yep. Defended well by Sabarzo, even though he didn't get the ball. Didn't go to the intended target. Oh, Ty
was
Reamer caught
offsides.
offsides. That's okay. The Bethel coaches are yelling about needing to win balls. St. Clair has won most of the 50-50 balls today. Knocked down by Connie. Sabarzo goes in hard. Whoops. Gets through Myers. Out to Ethan Donovan.
This is the most
Two players
possession
on
that
the other
we've seen
side.
out of him. Ooh, what a ball.
I tell you, that was a good. Fortunate for St. Clair that was a bad cross, because there were two Bethel players coming on the backside.
Yeah, for those not in the stadium, the wind is heavily in that direction, and so it's not surprised that you saw the ball carry a little deep on that one. And I know you can't pick it up from the television, but it is freezing here. It looks like a nice day, but it is cold with the wind picking up.
Myers dribbles.
We need some
around
numbers
another
to come
defender.
up forward.
Keeps that ball close. Very nice touches. Oh,
There
very
comes
nice swing
Max.
out to Fulton-Ear. Back to Myers.
All right.
Over the top to Fulton-Ear.
He's trapped. Yeah, see, the Bethel Park defender got trapped there. He had his back shielding the defender, but he had really nowhere to go with the ball. Jack Myers taking the kick. There's an in-swinger.
Oh, almost.
And you get another one.
I think we have another chance at it. Jack Myers, that was a great corner on the near post. Just headed wide by a Bethel player. Sabarzo knocks it in.
Another deep one.
Oh, unfortunate. Max Fulton-Ear almost had a hit on it.
That's
Connie
a shot.
launches. Good save by the Bethel keeper.
Really nice strike by Cyrus Connie there. It was deflected, but goalkeeper was able to collect it. Still a pretty dangerous shot.
Yep. Collected by Reamer, knocked to midfield. Again went to Reamer. Carries, tries to knock it out to Sabarzo, but out of bounds. Cuddy defends. Fulton-Ear, good head. Bethel's got out the near sideline. Forward, Cuddy defends again.
St. Clair needs
Back
to
St.
possess
Clair.
the ball,
Or-
you know.
You're right. It's just bouncing all over the place right now.
Bring it down and control it. There you go.
And
Now
Myers
settle
says, here,
down.
Connie. Reamer on
This
the
is
run
it.
outside. There we go. This is what we need.
Much more of a measured attack at this point is what I think is called for.
Bethel knocks out. St. Clair throw.
But it's too early to go in just pure defending mode.
Oh, no question about it. This is too close.
A little
Sabarzo,
unlucky.
yep, defends well, but Bethel has a throw in. Ty Reamer gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar there. I don't know if that was a foul.
The goalkeeper from Bethel Park coming out to take this kick. This is a dangerous situation.
Defended well by Cuddy. Oh, and collected nicely by Jakovic.
And you could hear it in the voices of the St. Clair players that there was desperation there. Justifiably so.
The word out was said about 20 times. Jakovic punts the midfield. Sabarzo lets it go off his back.
About 4 minutes left in the half in the game, actually.
Ethan Donovan throws it in. Turned by Connie. Sent up the sideline. Tanner comes back to get it. Takes a little punishment. Inside to Bethel. Ben says get out of here. Jack Myers
Here
has
comes
it.
Jack.
Dribbles.
Can he get it through? Oh,
almost.
Just one more step.
Jack Myers
Nice,
intercepts.
Jack.
Again, goes
And
around
he
the
dices up.
Bethel defender.
All right. You've got 3-on-2 here.
Oh, nice try. Try to slide it into the middle. Ty Reamer keeps moving and gets the ball. Thumped by a Bethel player. Cuddy
That
has
was a hard
it.
tackle.
Looks forward. Sends it wide.
No one home.
Nope, he thought Nick Tanner was going to squirt outside, I think. Up to Joshua Noir.
Let's see if Liam can shield him. Let it go over the end line.
Smart play by Liam Shinecki. We have a goal kick now. Joshua Noir was put in by Bethel. Try and provide an offensive threat. Tried to get across there, but Liam Shinecki shielded it outside. 2.5 minutes left. 2-1 St. Clair. Oh. Sabarzo has it on the outside.
Here comes Abelardo Sabarzo. He
Sends
touches
it forward
it
to
forward.
Nick Tanner.
Can Nick? Oh. That wasn't a foul. Tried to draw one there.
Collected well by Ty Reamer. Takes a shot in the back by a Bethel player. Stolen by Bethel. Defended well by Ben
steps
Bagdine.
it down. He's
Ben
going
is
to go
very
down
good
the
at
line.
stepping into passing
Somebody
lanes.
needs to get on the back post.
Yep, we don't have any runners forward. Ben sees it. Takes a shot and a foul.
He really didn't have any options. You only
No.
had Nick Tanner forward. Jack Myers had sat back. You know, given the situation, you're probably right in being a little conservative in your positioning, but
Sabarzo outside to Ty Reamer. 1.5 minutes left now. Out to Ty Reamer again. Wall passer on the Bethel defender. Defended by 2 players.
you know, now's about the time that you might think about stalling.
Yeah, you can take a ball to the corner now if you get it. Oh, Ben Bagdine takes a shot to the back but gets the ball. Sabarzo's going to go in hard, and does. You could see Abelardo wasn't going to stop there, and that's an important
1
play.
minute left in the game.
That cost Bethel about 10 seconds, that hard play by Abelardo. Jack Myers says, too bad for you, Bethel. I got the ball. Oh, Nick Tanner's going to take his time.
Now they should take their time and run this clock out. You know, at this stage, you just can't give up anything just really easy.
Nope. To the corner. Coach Snyder's calling
Now
for the
possess
corner.
the ball.
Jack Myers will take some punishment and dribble the ball around. He doesn't mind. And knocked out by Bethel. So St. Clair's got a long look at their throw in here deep in the Bethel end. Sends it to Jack Myers in the corner, who's going to take a foul
That's exactly
or two.
what we're talking
Yep.
about.
So now we're at 15 seconds. Ty Reamer heads it forward. Jack Myers says, here you go. Ben Bagdine dribbles.
He's just going
Waits
to
for the
control
foul.
the ball. There you go.
4, 3,
You saw
2,
he had a chance to
1.
maybe go take a shot, but
Yep.
instead he runs the clock out wisely. You get the W and you move on in section play. And that's the 10th consecutive win by Upper St. Clair over Bethel Park. Still almost a 5-year stretch since Bethel Park has beaten Upper St. Clair in boys varsity soccer.
And that is a nice win for St. Clair. 2-1 hard-fought victory. Thanks again, Wally. It was fun.
Thanks, Dan.
You'll hear us at the next game. Thanks.